Daj łapę.
In the spring of 2024, my wife and I traveled extensively across Eastern Europe, and as luck would have it, a family in southern Croatia reached out to us and we agreed on a 2-month volunteer exchange working on their property for room and board. I love this because this type of program offers a more intimate local experience not normally accessible on a regular holiday. I had been part of the Workaway program for years as a solo backpacker, and I had fantastic experiences in Cambodia and New Zealand. As a couple, we were able to offer up an even more diverse set of skills that would interest hosts to take us on. We were the dream team, baby! Because of this, it worked out quite well for us, and we got along great with the family, and we were able to help them out with lots of tasks around the house. In exchange for 5 hours of work a day around the property, we were given our own lovely apartment and had a weekly food allowance. We ate like Croatian royalty, and had plenty of time to relax and explore the coast. We cleaned and gardened and fixed whatever needed fixing, picked lemons in the orchard, fed and looked after the brood of chickens, and we were even able to help out with and take part in Mickey's cooking class, which she runs as a home business. I like doing this type of work that allows me to feel strong and get some dirt underneath my fingernails. I like to learn, and I want to be able to do everything I can because variety is the spice of life, and paprika is the spice of Croatia. If anyone has ever seen the movie Chicken Run, it is shockingly accurate to the behavior of chickens, and I gained a whole new respect for them after caring for them. But maybe not so much for the roosters. Sorry, dude. While I learned to garden the Croatian way, I learned about how to use the local ingredients that were natural to the region. There is no food on this planet that I wouldn't try at least once if I haven't tried it already. Tasting the food of foreign cultures was for sure the deciding factor that moved me around the globe for close to a decade. In Miki's kitchen, we made garden fresh pesto, wood-fired bread, zucchini fritters, Croatian pastries, and my personal favorite, cevaps. Cevaps are a legendary caseless sausage that are found all around the Balkans. These little saucies are so special that they are recognized by UNESCO for their historical and cultural significance. It is one of the best snacks of the area. And speaking of snacks, here's Ollie frying up some Croatian zucchini fritters.
We want to put our dry ingredients in. Okay, so this is our sunflower seeds.
We have snacked our way around the world, and in Europe we took full advantage of the quality non-alcoholic beers and the tasty, tasty burek. I had my first ever near beer in Prague, and it completely changed my mind toward drinking them. Europe is way ahead of North America with the accessibility of delicious, high-quality, non-alcoholic beers, which was perfect because nothing hits quite like a pint and a burek. We worked in the mornings and explored in the afternoons. We had noticed an unusual structure on a nearby ridge line and planned a hike to see if we could get near it. Along the way, we found the path was guarded by legless lizards. Yes, legless lizards. This hike was extra alluring because the ridge was an unguarded border that divided Croatia from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Croatia, Bosnia, Croatia, Bosnia, Croatia, Bosnia, Croatia, Bosnia.
This was the second time in a year that we hopped across a border between two countries. On our anniversary, we stepped across an unguarded section of the border between Thailand and Myanmar. This is a hilltop bunker left over from the early 90s Croatian War of Independence, and you can see me explaining to Ollie why trenches are made like this. The zigzag pattern serves to protect from shrapnel of grenades and direct mortar fire. This bunker is one of the many relics of the conflict in the area from the not-too-distant past, and it captivated my adventurous instincts and entertained my childhood curiosity of human conflict. It's places like this that open my eyes to the rest of the world beyond the safe suburbs of Canada that I grew up in. As we walked, we kicked up the scent of wild herbs, and I was reminded of Miki teaching us how pesto was invented. It was a quick snack for farmers when they were out in the hills tending to the olive trees. They could pick the ingredients from the fields and mix them together in a bowl for a quick snack. I collected some wild spring onions and cooked them up with the supper that night, but unfortunately they were a little too wild because they were flavorless and tough as wood. So I'll just stick to shopping for my vegetables at Lidl from now on.
I'm at the top now. Can I eat my salami sandwich yet?
Yes.
And for a complete surprise, some lovely people carried a park bench all the way to the top of the ridge for us to enjoy our salami sandwiches, with one of the most beautiful picnics we could have ever imagined. Sometimes you just get lucky. From this ridge, we get our first look at what came to be my main object of interest over the 2 months we spent in the valley. This is the abandoned seaside resort town of Kupari, built around a cove of the Adriatic Sea. This sprawling complex consists of the ruins of 4 grand hotels that were once the shining jewel of the former Yugoslavia. I have explored abandoned buildings before, but nothing comes close to the magnitude of all of this. It was beautifully haunting and mesmerizing all at once. I was completely intoxicated by the thrill of exploration over 2 months. These buildings exhibit a unique socialist architectural style of the era, frozen in time and left to rot. They display the scars of war from having been a Croatian military holdout in the siege of Dubrovnik during the wider conflicts from the fall of Yugoslavia. It was like stepping back in time. Heavy artillery and mortar shots peppered the exterior, and you can stand in the scene of a close combat small arms firefight, moving from room to room in dark hallways. It's terrifying to think about. I appreciate how all of this has been left untouched and surprisingly well maintained. I was here nearly every day after work, checking out every square meter of this unsettling monument. I'm grateful to have been able to play here as a grown man, but so much of me wished that I grew up here. Having the freedom to go wherever I wanted and play wild games of hide and seek around these rooms. And it's the best paintball field I've ever seen. I do think that childhoods where I grew up tended to be unfairly restricted and that kids need to get outside in the wild and discover danger all on their own. There's so much beauty to be found in the chaos, and it's necessary to form whole human beings. After visiting the old resorts, there was another hilltop fort that caught my eye, so I decided to send Olivia to test out this sketchy old ladder built into the edge of a cliff. Hell of a job, babe. We made it as far as we could before our path was halted by endless rows of stabbing cacti and gnarly thorn shrubs. It was brutal and completely impassable while trying to hike in short shorts. From another perspective, the world around seems completely normal, and the contrast of life moving on amid the memories of death and destruction are either a testament to the triumphs of the human spirit, or a glimpse into our cyclical habits of moving on to protect ourselves from the realities of our violent animal instincts. The farther I swam, the scars appeared less obvious, and out in the clear, warm seas, it was easy to forget the past. The further I pulled away from the microscope and looked at the world around with a wide lens, the less scary it all seemed. This was total freedom to me, and only with great sacrifice have I been able to live in these moments without restraint. War always fascinated me, and until this point in my life, it was for the wrong reasons. For entertainment. This trip through Europe changed me because I got to be on the ground where it all happened. I was able to hear stories from locals fleeing from their homes up into the hills when the invading army was coming to kill their families and take everything from them. It became real when I stepped out from behind the storybook and saw human history with my own eyes. All the good and the bad of it. I've seen the battlefields and the death camps, the bullet holes and the burnt out buildings where life once thrived. It has opened my mind to the complexities of human culture and beliefs, and I will forever be in this journey of curiosity until my life comes to an end. I first left home to escape life and try to find myself. It's the story of the backpacker, and I kept imagining I had completed this mission, but I kept falling back into bad old habits around the world. It was only after 6 years of constantly moving on from my problems and starting new that I found someone who encouraged me to look inside instead of trying to force change through external experiences. No matter how many countries I visited and mountains I climbed, I was always met with the same old me. Quitting drinking was only the beginning. I thought it was a done deal after that, but there were so many more pieces of the puzzle left to make a whole me. Once I shifted this quest for change to a more introspective approach, time seemed to slow down, and the real beauty of existence began to mature in me. To put it short, it's love. The answer is love, people, and kindness. We lived for over a year in a separate reality, with the prior knowledge that this life wasn't real and that one day it would come to an end and we would have to go back to real life somewhere. But for this moment, we enjoyed the hell out of it. Life felt so full, and our love for one another flourished. Even when we thought we were all alone, there came a meow from out of the rubble. Cats. Cats everywhere in Croatia, and they're the most friendly, inviting cats. They hung out on the street corners waiting to catch your attention and come say hello. These cats were well loved, and it showed, because they were never afraid of human affection. I often get emotional when I reminisce about my life of travel. I get lost behind my eyes and daydream in full color of the world I have seen and the spirits that have come and gone. Sometimes it is necessary to stop and celebrate the little things, and sometimes you just have to stop and pet a cute little cat.